Konnichiwa collectors, this is Chris of Flying Ace Comics. Our goal here at Flying Ace Comics is to find and review merchandise from throughout the geekdom, whether it's from comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, or anything else from within the multiverse, to find out whether or not it's worthy of adorning your shelves. And I want to apologize for not posting as much recently, because if you see my last video, you'll know that I've been recovering from a sore throat. And I'm still in the recovery stages, but these videos aren't going to post themselves. Also, you may be wondering what that excessive noise is coming from the background, and that's because it's almost in the triple digits here. I can't stand the heat whatsoever, and I'm not about to turn off my air conditioner or my fans because it is just way too hot, so we'll just have to deal with that together. Anyway, as you can see from my background, it's a little bit different. And that's because there's a certain theme involved. Have you guessed what it is yet? This is the first video in my series of Wonder Woman reviews. So, without holding it up any further, I give you the Batman v Superman Wonder Woman figure. First off, I'm sorry that it's cutting off, the top and the bottom of the package, but I have very, very limited space to work with right here. But this is the basic Wonder Woman figure, as you can see here. It just says Wonder Woman. And this is from last year's Batman v Superman, which I always kind of had a problem with that title. Here you see Batman and Superman, along with the world's finest emblem. And of course, here's Wonder Woman in her package. But if you turn this over, you see the full Wonder Woman, and it includes a sword and shield. In here on the side, you can see the other figures in this series: Battle Armor Batman, Grapnel Blast Batman, and Shield Clash Superman. And I'm just going to get this right off the bat, no pun intended, swear to God, that I am not going to be reviewing any of these other figures because I tend to avoid gimmicky figures. Me, I'm more of a screen accuracy person. So, if they come with a gimmick, I'm pretty much not interested. But anyway, here is Diana of Themyscira in all her glory, which, this is a very plain package, on a blister card. Doesn't really have anything to hide. And this is pretty much what the package was like when I got it. Let's see, it's kind of bent and has some shelf wear on it. I found this at my local Shopko discount store, and they didn't really have much in the way of, well, they hardly ever have anything worthwhile. They usually have stuff that's been around for a couple of years at least. So this had been sitting there for a few months before I managed to grab it. Let's get her out of this packaging and see what she has to offer. Now that we have her out of the packaging, let's take a closer look at her. Now, this is not a deluxe figure at all. This is the kind of figure that you'd buy for a little kid or something. Not meant for a collector. Well, although, of course, you collect it. I mean, come on, why else is it on here? But it's a very nice sculpt of her. It kind of looks like an animated version of Gal Gadot. If they ever did like an animated version of, the DCEU or something. It does look like her, but it looks kind of cartoonish in a way, in a good way. But we'll see. Take a look at her face. If you focus, I really need a different camera for this. It does have some of her features. It focused a little bit. It has her brown eyes as opposed to the traditional blue-eyed Wonder Woman, but of course, this is Gal Gadot, so it does look like her, so that's a plus. the camera kind of makes her hair look black, but it's actually a dark brown, kind of a chocolatey brown. You know, so it's actually as screen accurate as you can get for, say, like a $10 figure. I'm not sure how much I paid for this. I can't really remember. For her bodice, they kind of just used red plastic with a little bit of metallic flake in there. Again, you can't really zoom in on this camera. Anyway, the only things that are unpainted, as far as I can tell, are her skin and her bodice. Oh, and her boots, of course. Well, yeah, her boots. Everything else is painted in some way. Her tiara here is painted. Probably one of the nicer paint jobs they've done on this figure, although it is a little bit splotchy on the top. Her armband is definitely painted and actually very splotchy. It actually doesn't set well with the mold at all. I'm sorry about the focus, it just will not work at all. But take my word for it, they just used gold paint on the beige of her skin, so there we go. Hope you can see that better. Maybe if you take a Gundam marker or something, be very, very careful with it. Maybe you can... I probably wouldn't recommend that unless you actually have some experience modding figures, so... But anyway, her breastplate here is painted gold. Not a very great gold either, just kind of almost an olive green. But anyway, oh, her belt is possibly a separate piece, so. But anyway, her skirt and her bodice are completely different parts. This is actually, a full. This is actually blue. If you take a look under, not trying to be a perv, but if you do take a look under here, you can tell that this was red, or at least her posterior area was red, but they painted it to match the skirt. And I guess some of the blue must have come off on the back of her thigh here. And of course, you know that I just took this out of the package, so that was not my fault. But anyway, you can see the lasso of truth, aka the lasso of Hestia, which that is not removable, and apparently it was possibly blue to start with, maybe brown, because of this harness, and they just went ahead and painted it gold. But it's very flexible, so it'll have some give to it. Her knee pads are painted gold, and you can see at the very back of her boots that those are actually painted to match the color of her legs. But these are actually her boots themselves are the same color as the bodice, just the metallic red plastic. But anyway, as for articulation, if you move her hair, she can turn her head to the side, both sides. And unfortunately, that's pretty much all you can move her head, because her hair is in the way, so she can't look down or look up. She can just barely move her head. As for her arms, they only do a 360. This is not a ball joint at all. It's just kind of plugged in. I don't want to pull it out of its socket or anything. Her wrists are actually not articulated at all. They're flush along with her bracelets. But she can turn her arm this way. Her elbow area can do a 360, and can bend. So that's something. It's not much, but it is something. Same with this one. So her legs, she can at least sit down, and she can bend her knees. Well, if you come up with an invisible jet, then maybe you can actually come up with something for her to do. I actually want an invisible jet now. But anyway, you just kind of have to be careful when you sit her down like this, because it will tend to warp the plastic here. And I just noticed, again, not trying to be pervy, but I just noticed there's a splotch of paint or something right in a very odd area, so try to keep her skirt down and you won't notice it very much. I just noticed I think some of this paint, now that I've been messing, some of the paint from her hair is started to flake off and get on her face, which that's starting to bother me some. Because that did not happen earlier. So be very careful with that. Might have to take a wet washcloth or some sort of cleaning implement and just be very careful with her. And also, now that that's taken care of, she does come with 2 accessories. She comes with her Amazon sword, and also I didn't notice it until just now, and you probably can't see it here. Nope. But there's a little falcon at the hilt, or right at where the hilt meets, and it's the exact same design as this shield. Probably can't see it very well, but yeah, the shield also comes with her. Yeah, it clips right onto her arm, and hopefully that won't scuff her up or anything. Let's take a look at it real quick. Since she's most likely right-handed, I'll go ahead and put it on her left. I'll put it on her left so she can defend. Clip that on there. Stays on pretty well. It doesn't slide, so it allows her arm to move without scratching up the paint. Let's take it off and hope that, well, that's good anyway, that the silver paint didn't come off. So that's one positive about this. I'll clip that back on there and see how well she can hold her sword. Put that right in there, and she can't really hold it all that well. It kind of slides just a little bit, but she's ready to kick the digital crap out of Doomsday, so she does look pretty good. My only complaint about the weapons is that there's no real, aside from the designs on them, there's no real detail to them. They're, like, they probably could have dealt with at least a decent blackwashing, just to make the designs pop. Because that would have made a lot of difference. But then again, this was from a series of figures that, more meant for little kids than, just, bang, 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 instead of, acting out things or just displaying. So I can understand why they didn't put, some sort of black wash or something. But So that would have been a bonus. I mean, you could do it if you want to. Personally, I don't have the experience to do it, so I'm not even going to try, at least for now. But this is a very nice figure. I really would recommend her to anybody who at least wants one Wonder Woman figure and is on a budget. And, you know, if your kids want one, you know, this is, you know, not a bad figure to start with. So yeah, if you're in the market for some sort of Wonder Woman figure, or if you're just a huge Wonder Woman fan like I am, or both, you know, then definitely pick it up if you can find it. You know, because this figure's, you know, it's been a while since it's been released, so I don't even know if they're available anymore, except on, like, Amazon, which I didn't mean for that to be a pun. I swear I'm a magnet for these things. Anyway, yeah, so what to take away from this is I recommend this figure, and I just really enjoy it. So, until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, and share on your preferred social media, and visit us here on YouTube. Also, be sure to visit Flying Ace Comics on Twitter, and Flying Ace Comics on Instagram. And remember, until next time, in the words of the two great ones, be excellent to each other.